Well, well, good evening, everyone. This is Tustin Longevity Center, and this is July 4th, 2022. It is the 246th birthday of the creation of our nation, the Declaration of Independence, and then leading to our wonderful constitutional republic. So, we are here and we are live, but it may be that there's no one in the chat to address. Everyone's probably out celebrating, which is probably a very good thing. And so I guess what I'll do is outside of that, I'll make it more brief and we will say, oh, Sherilyn is saying hi, that she's here. I had an email, I think it was last Monday, that this came through, but it didn't get to my desk until we were able to do this today. This is a paper that came in. We are a educational video, and we are functional integrative doctors, and our goal here is to create another venue for everyone to be able to reach out and to ask questions about functional medicine and their standard health. So you could also email us at office@tlcdoctors.com, office@tlcdoctors.com. And this young lady sent in a question and answer. Now, this is not designed to be medical management over the internet. Rather, it is, in fact, designed to be a resource for you to try and ask questions to which I can give generalized answers and guide you as best I can in a general fashion. If you have any serious concerns, urgent concerns, then we would ask you to see your doctor or to use your urgent care. In the meantime, I'll start with Suzanne Arose, who emailed me this question. She goes on to say, "Hi, Dr. Rita. Hope you are well. I have two questions. My mom is 91 years old. She is anemic, takes a blood thinner, and has a pacemaker. The doctor wants to start giving her Epigen injections to bring her iron count up. What do you think about these injections?" My second question is for myself. I have been working on healing my gut, but what additional supplements do you recommend to heal my gut besides SBI Protect and Glutagenics? I also do bone broth, probiotics, a good diet with sauerkraut. Thank you, Dr. Rita. So, Suzanne Rose, regarding your mother who is 91, as we age, our ability to reproduce cells and make our blood cells repair our skin. Very often you'll see skin tags from blood sugar issues, hyperinsulinemia, and you'll get skin tags. You'll start to see your skin sagging and wrinkling and creping, so to say. And that's because our production of collagen, fibrin, things like this, elastin, are diminishing. And the same goes for red blood cell production in your bone marrow. And Epigen is a injectable pharmaceutical that is designed to stimulate the bone marrow to produce more red blood cells. To my best knowledge, it has nothing in and of itself to do with iron. I would presume that your doctor has already tested your mother's iron levels and found them to be normal. Iron can be taken as a supplement orally. It can be eaten in the form of red meats, things like this, spinach. The iron is rich in that. And the body can receive an infusion of iron in serious situations, but Epigen is designed to stimulate your bone marrow to make more red blood cells. So I am in favor of this. There's nothing wrong with Epigen in and of itself. I don't know where you live. If you can find a functional medicine doctor, such as maybe checking into the internet, type in acam.org, acam.org, and that's the Academy for the Advancement of Medicine, or the American College for the Advancement of Medicine, ACAM, and they're around since 1972, so it's a very old and well-established um, organization of doctors who have open minds and look outside of just their standard training. These doctors basically are promoting chelation therapy, which was really the founding motive for ACAM. It was born out of another organization called GLACAM, which was the Great Lakes American College for the Advancement of Medicine. And that was because cardiologists knew that the intravenous EDTA, which is ethylene diamine tetracetic acid infusion, helps the circulation and extends life. It pulls out heavy metal toxins and increases perfusion. So if you get a ACAM doctor, they're going to talk about this for your mother, because all people, as we age, our perfusion diminishes, and very often we'll get things like dementia, macular, or degeneration or glaucoma, things like this, poor circulation to the lower extremities, and cramps, and so on. So go ahead and let the doctor give the Epigen and follow their advice for your mom. Now, your second question was, I've been working on my gut, and what additional supplements do you recommend to heal my gut besides SBI Protect and Glutagenics? So I would find out your blood type. I would presume that you're about 60 years old, in your 50s, late 50s, or 60. And all people after the age of about 55, our ability to digest and break down our food, including your mother, becomes less and less capable, because just like we're not making enough red blood cell with aging, we're not making enough elastin and collagen and fibrin, we are also making less digestive enzymes. So one of the things you need to do is find out what your blood type is, because A type blood has a known history as a class of blood cells, red blood cell types, that is associated with lack of production of digestive enzymes and hydrochloric acid. But all of us, no matter what, whether you're an O, a B, an AB, as you get older, all of us diminish. So I'm B positive, and I just had horrible food because it's the 4th of July. See my shirt here, and I just was at the celebration, because I do believe it's a right to have the foods and the celebrations that you should with your family. So we had treats and sugars and stuff that normally I wouldn't want to eat, and I'm feeling bloated. But I have to take orthodigestive enzyme as a B positive blood to help me break this down. And furthermore, I just came off of a 3-day fast, just a water fast for 3 days, a little over 3 days, 3.5 days. And dumping inside of me these heavy, celebration, barbecue type party foods is very hard on me. So I believe it's very valuable to find out your blood type. If you're older than 55, start taking a digestive enzyme after you eat each meal to help you break it down properly. That will present the food in better packages for your gut to pull out the food nutrients that are needed for your body to stay repaired and younger and live longer and healthier, and your immune system. The other thing I would say is you have to always remember, my picture here of the cell membrane is a double layer. This is a double layer double layer of phospholipids. They hang down and they hang up, and this creates the cell membrane no matter what cell we're talking about in your body. And these blobs here, brown round blobs, would represent the proteins. So this is a layer of fatty phospholipids, and these are the protein cell membrane structures. And these would have to be replaced by eating them. So you have to eat a diet that is rich in proteins and fats that are essential for humans. And that's why we eat the skin on the chicken roasted, not deep fried or Kentucky Fried Chicken, but we eat the free range grass fed chickens with the skin on it. We eat the meat from the prairie raised beef. We eat the wild caught fish, raw prairie raised eggs, raw dairy. There's rich amounts of protein and fats that go into reconstructing these membranes. And since your mouth, from the inside lining of your mouth all the way down to your anus, is a single cell membrane, literally, the membrane is just this thick between you and the world out there, whatever you put in your throat. And if something injures you, like a heavy metal toxin or a virus or a bacteria or a virus or fungi or any other injury, you have to repair that by eating the healthy fats and proteins. We don't get this really in any significant measure from a plant diet. It would be very difficult to work a full plant diet. That's why there's so many deficiencies associated with a plant-based only diet. In fact, I was just reading 3 days ago about a Valerie O'Leary. This is a mother, I think 31 years old, who in a Florida court case just this past week was found guilty of manslaughter, killing her 1.5-year-old son by only putting him on a plant-based diet from birth. And so that's such an unfortunate story. But we have to repair the lining of the gut with what it's made of, and those are phospholipids, and those are fats and protein. And that's rich in eating grass-fed dairy and wild-caught produce, fish, poultry, and beef and pork and such. The other thing about your gut is you need to be low carb, because if you eat a high carb, which often is in a plant-based diet, too many carbs, then those sugars are going to feed bad bacteria, which secrete and produce waste materials and harbor and promote a poor environment for the healthy lining of your gut. The other thing would be probiotics. As we age, our healthy bacteria diminish. So taking good probiotics every day or twice a day is very important. We use Orthobiotic here. I use Orthospore IG. I use it twice a day. And the other thing I would suggest is, you said you were on SBI Protect. Glutagenics is basically a glutamine powder amino acid concoction that is helpful in the amino acid protein construct of the cell membrane. But really, the SBI is good enough for that protein content. I wouldn't think that you need both. I would rather see you on SBI Protect and what we call NT powder. NT powder is this phospholipid, which is the little fats that hang down and hang up, that have the fats that are very important. Linoleic and alpha linolenic acids are in seeds and nuts and in meat, fish, and poultry. So we put this in our oil composition here. These have the essential human fats, not EPA and DHA. They are not essential for human health. Linoleic and alpha linoleic are the only two essential fatty acids, and that is what you will find in that double membrane there. Then I would learn to only eat in a time restricted window. I would try to eat only between noon and 6 p.m. That way you have 18 hours every day for your gut to heal, because every time you eat, you send a whole sequence of events into your body to receive foreign material into your body, and your body has to uh, chew it up and deliver it to the stomach. Digestive enzymes have to be made, acid has to be made to kill off bacteria and fungi and viruses that are likely on it, and parasites. Then it goes into your stomach, where the work for sorting and protection from harm is continued with your gut associated lymphoid tissue. So this takes hours. This will take 6 hours, maybe even more, for your whole body to work this through in the initial onslaught of eating any meal. So if you eat in a time restricted window, I myself try to eat one meal a day. So it's very easy for me to go 3 days without eating, for a cleanse, for stimulation of my immune system, to clean out old age cells, promote autophagy, and to reduce insulin sensitivity, and to kill off stem cell cancer cells that might be trying to develop in me. And all these things, the probiotics, the essential oil of the lining of the membrane, the phospholipids, the SBI Protect, the NT powder, those two things, the time restricted eating, the low carb diet, a good night's sleep, and not eating late. The reason why we say don't eat past 6 o'clock is because even the sun and your time on the planet, wherever you are on the planet, wherever the sun is at, there are electromagnetic energy, informational waves coming to you, talking to your body, trying to tell you, all right, it's 9 o'clock. You should be planning to get in bed and shut your eyes, because we want to heal you and release growth hormone and repair hormones. So it is smart never to eat late. That's why we say 6 o'clock stops, so your stomach is not working before you have to go to bed. And I think that would be the whole story of the gut for you, Suzanne or Rose. And I want to thank you for your email. Any of you, if you're thinking of something, you can go to the office at tlcdoctors.com, office@tlcdoctors.com. And there you can type up your question as well. And that way you don't have to wait, or if you cannot be online to type this out, I can still try and get your questions addressed. So Deanne says, happy 4th of July, Dr. Rita. Happy. Do you like my shirt, Deanne? See my shirt? Ta-da! And so I got this shirt for all my family, every one of them, my grandchildren. And I didn't get one for my daughter-in-law because she's so pregnant. I didn't think it would fit her, but maybe it might have. But anyway, we had fun with all looking like a team. And so what is your treatment protocol for someone who has COVID when you know you are no longer contagious? What is your treatment protocol? Well, there is, let's put it this way. How do you know you're contagious? If you're coughing, sneezing, having chronic drippy, runny nose, you're achy, you're not feeling well, and you feel sick, just like you would normally, you would stay home, you wouldn't hug and kiss your grandchildren, your children, your spouse. You would say, I'm not feeling well, don't come close. And then that's the time when you are in a catarrhal, what we call a catarrhal state, you're shedding. But the virus activity of viral shedding and growth usually has a peak that from exposure to actually the buildup of the virus to the point where you have symptoms within 48 to 72 hours, then another 72 to maybe 96 hours, you have the bad rhinorrhea, cough, and runny nose. And then you are not producing as many viral particles if you have a good immune system. And then you're going into what we call a healing state, and you really are not going to transmit anything. Of course, I would still wash my hands, and I would rest until you feel healthy to return. But you're really only a window of about 4 days of having yourself in what we would consider a contagious phase. Now, after you're past that, then you should be fine. We would continue. Normally, we prescribe ivermectin, and we continue that from the day once you get the symptoms and you give us a call. Usually, that's by day 3 or so. 5 days of that would put you roughly around day 8 since the start of it. And then very often we'll say continue the ivermectin preventatively twice a week thereafter, at least for a month or 2, but you could choose to stay on that always. We keep you always on vitamin D3 with K2. We tend to always keep people somewhere between 5 and 15,000 international units a day. We like to make sure they are taking their TLC Energy Core, which has about 6 milligrams in the standard multivitamin of zinc. But if you have symptoms, then we give the TLC multi-mineral that has 25 milligrams of zinc. And that's because most of my patients are not deficient in zinc, because we've always been giving them a multivitamin and recommending foods that are densely nutritious, such as meat and fish and chicken with a skin and pork and organ foods and eggs and crustaceans. All these foods are very rich in these minerals. So we would encourage you just to continue your multi-mineral TLC Energy Core with your vitamin D. And then most of us recommend taking systemic enzymes so you don't get the achiness, the myalgias, achy muscles and joints. And that also helps prevent inflammation of the viral illness or any micro blood clots and the like. Then we've always pushed water with our patients, and that has always helped them to stay well. We often say getting a follow-up vitamin IV of high-dose vitamin C, 25 grams over the course of about a half an hour, 45-minute infusion. If you have G6PD, that's normal, and 99.6% of all people have enough G6PD, so it's really not a risk. So that's basically what we would say, Deanne, is if you've had it and you would just continue with those things and don't worry about being contagious anymore. If you're not sneezing, coughing, and are behaving like an ill person, you're not passing anything on. This has never been taught like that. These questions about being a asymptomatic carrier is an evil and unscientific and never proven. This is evil to suggest that people are repositories of spreading disease in the healthy state. This is evil to suggest this, and it breaks families and friendships and work flow dynamics along. It is an evil thing. Now, when I was on active duty in the military, I was trained in biological, radiological, and chemical warfare, decontamination, and management. And never, ever, and this is in the 1980s, we were never ever told that you would mask a healthy person. We were never told to quarantine healthy people. Never, absolutely never. We were never taught in those years about anything like an asymptomatic carrier. This is evil. There is no science behind this. So there you go. Sean says, Happy 4th of July, Dr. E. Do you have any thoughts on the initial side effects of a moving to a carnivore elimination diet? The initial side effects, specifically irregular bowel movements and loose stools and diarrhea the first week. Yeah. Well, mostly people, if they have anything, they have constipation. But you can have anywhere from looser stools to constipation. And this is not necessarily wrong at all, especially if you're eating free range prairie sources, wild caught fish, because when you're eating it, you're eating something that your body can totally absorb up, and you won't have as much fibrous debris, although you will get some fiber from a carnivore diet. I have patients who are full-time carnivores, and they still have a bowel movement every day. We recommend that unless you're having chronic diarrhea, which is, like 6 or 10 loose watery stools or more every day for more than 3 or 4 days, that you notify your doctor. If there's blood in it, notify your doctors immediately. But if you're having 2 or 3 loose stools and you feel well otherwise, this should pass within about 3 or 4 days. If not, you should contact your doctor. But we see these variations in our carnivore patients, but more often the constipation. There are people with the carnivore diet, and they are having a bowel movement maybe 3 times a week. But again, they're absorbing most of this. And it is not a problem to have a bowel movement every other or every other 2 days, as long as there isn't hard straining. Now, we encourage plenty of water here, and we take a multi-mineral or prescribe a multi-mineral that's rich in minerals that help with the peristalsis. We encourage not to eat late. We always encourage exercise here. But these are the things that we see, Sean, and unless this is becoming chronic, lasting past several days, or you're having, 6 or 10 a day, or if there's any blood in the diarrhea, you have to let us know about that. Sean also goes on to ask, are spices and herbs okay to use in a carnivore diet? Yes. Or do you recommend using just healthy butter and salt? The better thing, I think, is to keep it simple. Butter and salt. I use butter, salt, and I have a garlic salt. And that's basically all I use when I'm making my steaks, my hamburgers, my chicken, my roasts, my pork roasts, my pork chops. What else do I make? Or if I'm making scrambled eggs, I'll put salt and pepper on them. Yeah, so I would try and keep it simple. Remember, anything that goes down into your body, your gut system has to figure it out. And if you want a very healthy immune system, you need to talk yourself into the liberty we have to say, I could eat anything I want as often as I want, and I can kill myself with this food, but I'll have said I ate everything that my tongue lusted after. But we're trying to say, keep it to the 4th of July, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas dinner, New Year's dinner, Valentine's Day dinner, Resurrection Sunday dinner, Memorial Day dinner, and then 4th of July with your birthday and your anniversary. And that I just listed maybe 10 holiday treat days. So I think if we can discipline ourselves to say, let's try and stick with treats no more than once a month, then our immune system will be satisfied and working on other things that are more important than trying to figure out what you just ate and how many spices you put in it. Anna Marie says, hey, yay, Dr. Elitharp, I sure miss you. No doctor like you. Well, that's so sweet. And I'm sure there's many doctors like me, Anna Marie. I am starting a program. You'll be hearing much more later on about it. We are going to start really amplifying our YouTube presence and reaching out to doctors to help teach them about functional integrative medicine, because we've been doing this for 30 plus years. And the other thing is also courses for the lay people. That means we're going to be very busy behind the scenes and coming out with these kind of products. Um, One of the things I noticed when I was in this community of learning how to use the internet and YouTube and these venues is one of the doctors who was working and just doing the same thing I am really talked about why he is doing it. And he said it's because he loves the Lord so much and studies the Bible for his entertainment. And I was so blessed to see a doctor put that in our team group there. That means there are doctors out there that love God. And if they love God, then they have the love for his creation, which is our patients, as your prime focus and not a income. And so it was informative for me too, Anna Marie. But I thank you for such kind words that you feel towards me. But again, I am the product of many wonderful men and women before me that have helped me to be who I am and my Lord. So thank you, Anna Marie. Sean also has a third question. Looking to add cheese to my carnivore diet. You mentioned in the past that raw cheese is the best. Yes, that's correct, Sean. Uh, most stores carry pasteurized cheese. Is pasteurized cheese okay? I would say no. Can you explain the difference? Yes, pasteurization and homogenization is are two different things. Pasteurization is the heating up of the dairy to a certain degree Fahrenheit to kill off what they think are pathogens that would die at 100 and 30, 40, 60 degree Fahrenheit, whatever the temperature is. I don't know the exact Fahrenheit. So they bring the dairy up to a heat to kill off things, but then at the same time they're killing off good things too. The other thing is homogenization is then taking that heated dairy product and shaking it almost short of a microwave so much that the cellular material that is in milk, cheese, dairy is broken apart. Even the inside intracellular components like the lysosomes and the Golgi apparatus and the mitochondria, and all these intracellular things are released to the point, for instance, like superoxide dismutase, xanthine oxidase, all these things are released, and we're finding antibodies in human beings to what would have been normally intracellular material that would have never happened. You couldn't have chewed something hard enough and long enough and fast enough to expose a significant dosing of intracellular material. So I encourage raw dairy from clean sources. I use organic pastures, which I get at Sprouts, and I buy their cheddar block of cheese. And if I do use any milk, I get it from organic pastures at Sprouts. That's a California dairy farm that we have been to. My son has been there. Talon was up there with his family to check it out, and we had them lecture to us. It's very clean and wonderful. And then, of course, when I was growing up in Northern Illinois, all the Wisconsin dairy cows, we had very clean dairies there. And so I know what a clean dairy is. And you don't hear outbreaks of people getting sick from unpasteurized, non-homogenized dairy. So yeah, if you can find that organic pastures, non-homogenized, which is shaking it up, and that way cream won't float to the top. So if you have natural dairy, the cream will float to the top. By homogenization and heating it up, that disperses the fat particles around, and that's how you know it's gooey, sticky. That would never normally happen. Anna Marie says, I am carnivore diet and I have 2 to 3 bowel movements per day. Well, you see how unique everyone is. And that, again, also is not unusual. So thank you, Anna Marie, for saying that. There is a book out there called The Carnivore Cure by Judy Cho, CHO, Judy Cho. And this book is a very nice layman layout of how to move the common problems through the going to a carnivore diet, and how it seems to have been beneficially impactful in all disease situations, from cancer to just the Olympic athlete trying to perform their best. Cheryl says, which is better for pre-diabetes? Metabolic Extra or TLC Metabolic Formula? TLC Metabolic Formula. The berberine, which is what metformin is modeled after, is the herb that they found that has blood glucose metabolism support. It helps to more easily metabolize the blood sugar and burn it down. But it also has in it things like alpha lipoic acid, which is a tremendous antioxidant nutrient that helps liver to detox toxins. Of course, alpha lipoic acid has been used in amantadine mushroom poisoning that is fatal, usually 100%. And with alpha lipoic acid, we have found that to prevent this. So it has vanadium, it has chromium in it. So it has all these wonderful things. So I would say TLC Metabolic Formula, and I use that, Cheryl, every day, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening. Deanne Smith, love your July 4th shirt, Dr. Rita. Thank you. Thank you for taking your holiday time to respond to our questions. You are the best. Well, thank you, Deanne. Yeah, it was fun. I ordered these off of Steve Bannon War Room. There is the flagshirt.com, and that is a man in Florida who makes all kinds of patriotic things. So I wanted to support him, and I looked, and they weren't very expensive, and they have all kinds of varieties, mostly for men, but they have some nice ladies. This is actually a man's product. And yeah, I went to Steve Bannon's War Room, and I went to the flagshirt.com, and I got all my shirts from him. And I was really happy with it. They have lots of things. I bought a pair of sunglasses also, and it has the American flag on the outside, but you can see right through it. So my grandsons really enjoyed those zippy doodle glasses, you might say. Cheryl Martin says, also I had Morganella in my urine, was on an antibiotic. What else can I take naturally so I don't get another UTI? Well, drink plenty of water, practice good personal hygiene. You know, for a girl, we always say wipe front to back, so you never carry any of the anal debris front towards the vaginal and urethral area. So you have to go front to back cleaning yourself. Then we also say using D-mannose. That is a non-absorbable sugar, which is associated with lining the wall of the bladder such that it will not allow bacteria to implant. And then we have Uritrac, and that is a cranberry extract which acts as an antibacterial. Many women seem to be able to do well taking this once or twice a day to prevent urinary tract infections, along with plenty of water to drink. with good personal hygiene. And so that's what I would say. I would also say that you could take the spray bottle that makes a mist of the Argentine silver, and you could spray it in that area if you have any concerns. It won't burn or anything. It's just like water. That's a 23 parts per billion natural silver, which is very, very effectual against viruses, bacteria, and fungi. So we have, I don't see any more questions to my dear TLC Health Freedom Tribe. So maybe what I'll do is I'll stop early tonight and we'll have answered. And don't forget, you can email at office@tlcdoctors.com, and you can like and subscribe and share this, and keep your ear open for our development of this new classrooms we're doing. So we want to say have a blessed 4th of July. We thank God for the constitutional republic and all the men and families that laid down their lives, their fortunes, and their all for our freedoms today. So God bless America and everyone who loves their neighbor as themselves. Okay, take care. God bless everyone. Good night.